Hey guys and girls, Poker King here back with another video. And today we are going to talk about the Golden Age of TCGs and what does that mean and how does that affect you. So I want to apologise for the lack of content recently. I've been really ill. My voice still isn't 100%. I do have a drink at hand if I need to because my throat has been struggling these past few days. But there were a few days where I was basically bedridden, so I couldn't get out. So I've been quite ill. But we are going to get back into the swing of things with making content. So today's video is the Golden Age of TCGs. So with TCGs, obviously we've got a vast amount of TCGs that are constantly coming out all the time, whether they are games that are more collector based or more player based, whether they're Kickstarter TCGs, that could be both. It seems to be that we have such a vast variety and plethora of games to choose from, and it sometimes feels like there's maybe too much. And other people will say, I think that the amount of TCGs that we have is a really good indicator of the strength of the industry, which I agree with. I think TCGs are extremely strong. I think the strength of it is going up every single year. I think having this many games that are successful, we can talk about top 5, top 10, whatever, but a lot of these games are successful. They're being played across the world, they're being collected across the world, they're being bought, content's being made, people are sharing these TCGs, and people are excited about them. So I wanted to talk a little bit about a list that came out recently that had the top 15 TCGs in Japan. So I will try to post a list up here if I can fit 15 in there, or I might do a list of 5. But Magic the Gathering actually dropped out the top 5 for the first time since I've seen any records, to 6th. So obviously One Piece has climbed up there. Duel Masters is up there because Duel Masters is really big in Japan still. Obviously Yu-Gi-Oh up there, and Weiss as well. And Magic has dropped out. So I remember going to Japan in 2016 was the first time I ever went to Japan, and I solo travelled for 3 months. It was a big thing for me, and I was checking out card stores, seeing what it was like, and bearing in mind, this was when Pokemon Go was popular. Evolutions came out, CP6 in Japan came out, but we didn't have a TCG boom. Pokemon was more popular than it was before, but we didn't have a TCG boom. And I remember walking into stores and saw lots of Yu-Gi-Oh and lots of Magic. Now, fast forward to now, we've got One Piece. We got Yu-Gi-Oh Rush Store. We got Weiss Schwarz is really big. Union Arena, Shadowverse, Battle Spirit Saga, that are all games that might not be massive over here, but a lot of them are big in Japan. And obviously, Flesh and Blood is releasing in Japan next month, so that's going to be something that's exciting to see how well that performs. Games like Union Arena are doing really well. Obviously, Lorcana. I know Lorcana hasn't entered the Australian market yet. I think their release is May or June. I think June, they get Chapter 1 to 4, and then Chapter 5 when it comes out in August. So I don't know if Lorcana is actually officially released yet in Asia, in terms of like them getting it in stores, or if it's just getting imported at the moment. Obviously, you've got Star Wars Unlimited as well, which is a game that's growing. So I would be interested to see next year what that list looks like, and if any of those games have kind of jumped into the top 15, that would be interesting. So I think we have such a plethora of TCGs and options and variety. I think as a player collector, it can seem like there's too much choice, and I think that's why you're seeing a little bit of dips in certain markets of games, because people just have other choices, right? If you go to an LGS right now, most of them run One Piece, most of them are running Lorcana, and a lot of them are now running Star Wars. So they're 3 games that have come out within the last couple of years that have taken over the spots. A lot of them are new players that have entered TCGs that weren't in TCGs before. I've spoken to quite a lot of people that started getting into Lorcana because, they like Disney and they thought, okay, this would be a good entry point to get into a TCG. It's quite friendly, the same as One Piece, and Star Wars Unlimited as well. So I think these are great things for the TCGs, right? At the end of the day, obviously, all of us have a different role to play in TCGs. We are different things. Some of us are players, collectors, investors, businesses, or all of the above. But I think having such a variety is such a good thing. I will put my top 5 here for what I think is English. English language, not England, but as in the Western world. I've tried to look as much data as I possibly can and compile sales from multiple stores. And my top 5 is here. But I believe in the last 12 months, One Piece is number 1. I think then it's Pokemon. I think Magic is probably still number 3. I think Lorcana is probably 4th, and I think Yu-Gi-Oh is probably 5th. That kind of list seems to differ between so many stores, but a lot of stores Magic has actually dropped down. Like I had saw with Japan, a lot of stores now, their numbers have dropped where it could be their 5th best-selling TCG, and Lorcana's gone up there. Star Wars hasn't been out long enough to kind of get those sales. If we talk about the first quarter of this year, possibly Star Wars is one of the highest. But if we're talking about the last 12 months, One Piece has absolutely taken over. Pokemon's still, Pokemon's in Scarlet Violet era where those first 3 to 4 sets people thought were kind of dud sets. I disagree. I've spoken about it on the channel before. I think they're really good sets. I think people have such high expectations from other eras. You look at the end of Sun and Moon, you had these tag team sets. People didn't like the start of Sword and Shield. Then you've had this end of Sword and Shield with these amazing alt arts, which we still have amazing alt arts, by the way, in Scarlet Violet era. But people just can't relate to a lot of the Pokemon. This thing happens, honestly, every time. The first couple of sets are more basic compared to the later sets, but these start sets, we've already had some absolutely amazing cards. Like, the alts that we've had are ridiculous. I'm not going to include, like, 151 and Paldea and Fates. I'm talking about the main sets. We've had these amazing trainers. We've had the amazing Magikarp, which I think is an absolutely stunning card. Obviously, Temporal Forces, we've got that really nice trainer card of the Gengar. Really beautiful card. We've got some really nice art rares. And the sets coming out just look absolutely amazing, which I'm really looking forward to. I think Pokemon goes strength for strength when it goes through a generation. And I think people kind of forget that every generation. And then they end up waiting and then not buying the early sets. And the early sets go up and they regret it. So the same thing happens all the time. Obviously, One Piece is in a place where product is struggling to get out there. Like, it's not being printed enough. I know OPO6 has had some restocks at certain stores. I think it's stores that run events. So this was I thought it wasn't until May, but I guess they've had another restock that's recent, which is good. I think these are for stores that are running, like, actually run events, which is going to help players get the stuff. Hopefully we get restocks of the decks. I know the Three Brothers came out recently, which I got 0, because they were just so allocated, which is, is what it is. And obviously we got Star Wars. We're not going to get another printing of that until the end of the year, which is like, okay. I know my store got a restock recently, but only of like 12 boxes. So, but they want to do draft events, but they can't because they don't know when they're going to get more product in. And they know now it's probably not to the end of the year. So it's like, okay. Lorcana Chapter 1's pretty much sold out everywhere. Chapter 2 and 3 are plentiful. Enchanteds are starting to boom, which is ridiculous. Union Arena. Some of these cards coming out, I'll try to put some photos in there. Some of the cards coming out for Union Arena, like pen-signed, serialized autos, which is ridiculous. I look at what Weiss did, and they did the printed hot stamps or for the SOO serialized, which they're cool, but like the hot stamps are not as nice as an actual SIG. I think Union Arena has a very good chance of taking Weiss toe-to-toe, if you're talking about the multi IP anime TCG, if you will. I think that's the category that it falls under. So it'll be interesting to see kind of what Union Arena does. I know it's only going to be releasing in North America for English language. We're not going to get it in Europe or the UK yet. I think it's licensing. So it'll be interesting to see if it sells well in America, will they pay more? I guess it's probably a money thing, I would assume. So, because I don't know why the licensing would be different for Europe than the North America. I think it might be a case of just having to pay it, and they didn't want to spend loads of money on a game they're not sure that's going to do well in the Western audiences. So, I think a lot of the animes they've got, they've got Bleach, Hunter x Hunter, They've just done a Sword Art Online set, which is mad. They've done Demon Slayer. I think there's a few other sets that they've leaked now, which is mad. Magic. Yeah, we had the Thunder Junction Cowboy set come out. It seems okay. I think Karlov Manor was a big flop. They've just announced a Magic Cowboy Bebop collaboration, which is odd. I think that kind of came out of nowhere. Apparently, it's just promotional cards. I think it's just promos. So, from what I've heard, stores will get one of each promo, and it'll be for the challenge tournament each week. So you can win one of the 5 promos. I'll include some photos above. They look really cool, but they can obviously be extremely rare, and it just seems like a weird collaboration. And that's releasing in Japan and in English. So it'll be interesting to see what the values are, those, because I think people want to collect them who are fans of Cowboy Bebop, because I don't think Cowboy Bebop's had a Union Arena or Weiss set, or a the other anime TCGs, Battle Spirits and Build Divide, I think. I don't think they've had it either. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they haven't. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has announced Light of Destruction reprint in Unlimited, so that's a 2008 GX set. I think it was the last set, I think, after Phantom Darkness. It's either the last set or the second to last. It had Honest in, the Light Sworn, Arcana Force. Strange reprint. Very strange reprint, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that does. They've got the new Dueling Heroes tins coming out with Yugi and Kaiba on. They always do really well because they reprint cards from the year, so they're great to crack for singles because there's a lot of playable cards in there. If you can get the singles on for the sale for the first weekend, usually it goes really well. Obviously, Part of the Misfell for Flesh and Blood. The next set looks absolutely amazing. I think it looks fantastic. Yeah, I'm excited. I think we shouldn't be focusing on the negatives of too many TCGs and saturation, right? Like, I mean, I run a business, and too many TCGs can be a bad thing for me, right? Trying to sell, especially when for the TCGs I can't stock at the moment. But I think as a collector and a player, I think more variety is a good thing. It means you get to try different things. It also means that hopefully companies will try to improve because of the competition. So it'll be interesting to see what 2024 looks like for the rest of the year for TCGs. So thank you all for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe. As always, check out the links in the description below. I've got an eBay affiliate link. eBay have told me I need to mention that I do have an affiliate link. So if you click it and buy stuff off it, I get like some money back for it or something. But yeah, so check out the links in the description below. I've got a Discord as well if you fancy just chatting TCGs with people around the world. And have a great day.